charging points for electric vehicles are going to have to be installed in new homes as well as at new offices and supermarkets in England from next year under new proposals. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, is due to announce this at the Confederation of British Industries conference later. So they think up to 145,000 new charging points will be installed across the country each year. Ed Birkett is a senior research fellow at the centre-right think tank Policy Exchange. And Ed, you've been looking at electric vehicle infrastructure, charging infrastructure in the UK. What's the current picture?
Good morning. So in terms of private charge points, so people installing them at their own homes, I think if people have a driveway and then they buy an electric car, they're then installing a charge point at their home because that makes sense for them financially, because you can charge quite cheaply at home, particularly if you charge overnight and have the right electricity tariff. And that's what the government's announcement is about today. But in terms of the public charging network, so for people who can't charge at home or need to charge at motorways, there is more we need to do. We did some research last year and we found that the rate of installation needs to increase 5 times through the 2020s compared to last year. That should be doable, but it's going to be a big effort required from everyone.
We've got to rethink as well the way that we plan for these kinds of charging points, because it's not like topping up at a motorway service station. If you're going to need to sit around for 20 minutes, half an hour, you need somewhere to sit around and have a cup of tea. I think people will be doing this in a different way. It might be much more convenient to do it while you're doing the supermarket shop, to do it while you're at an office.
Absolutely. I think the announcement today is really important because it's about those slow chargers, which actually can be really convenient for people. So if you're charging at home, for example, you might visit a petrol station very rarely in future because you can have a full charge every morning. The supermarket and offices is really important for those people who don't have charging at home. So if you live in a tower block, in a block of flats, and you don't have, or a Victorian terrace with no off-street parking, then if there's a charge point at a supermarket or at your place of work, then again, your charging needs are probably going to be pretty easy to meet, and that's really important for drivers.
The other thing I didn't realise is that actually the bulk of charges are concentrated in the south and southeast of England. I don't know if that's because that's where electric car use is higher or what's happened there, but there is a bit of a divergence around the whole of the UK in terms of access to these points, isn't there?
There is, particularly in terms of public car charging points. I think in some ways, though, that's not surprising. So if you look at London, for example, we have the congestion charge and the ultra-low emission zone. So London really is the place where the electric cars are being bought and used first. But as electric cars become more mainstream and get rolled out across the whole country, that we need to make sure the public charging network is fully comprehensive across the whole of the UK.
Thank you very much, Ed Birkett from the think tank, the Policy Exchange.